Obviously, we're a work in progress, and we'll continue to get better. But I like what I'm seeing in terms of guys that aren't afraid to step in key moments and continue to get better and continue to grow. So with that, I'll take any of your questions.
Yeah. Great guys can't come in off the bench though if the coach isn't willing to go there. And did you set a tone early in the first couple minutes by pulling first half, then Brown, then
Yep.
Showalter?
Yep.
I'm assuming that was.
Yeah, turnovers have been a point of emphasis for, I don't know, since last season ended, and not only turnovers but the type of turnovers we have. So they understand that we've got to get better in that area. That we were better tonight. I mean, 13 is the number that sees their goaltending is a turnover by Andy. Charlie had a charge when I'm telling him to be physical around the rim. So those are things that will accept, those type of turnovers. But some of the passes that were made and areas that's the nice thing about having guys on the bench. They'll go in and play as hard as you can, as smart as you can for as long as you can. And then somebody else will come in and repeat. And then you get your break, get your cup of water, and go back and go as long and as smart and as hard as you can. And then we'll have somebody come in and pick you up. So that's, again, I think a benefit here. They understand that, do things the right way, how we teach it, how we coach it, what we expect, and you'll get. And if we play hard enough, your tongue should be hanging out by the time you come out. So we're starting to figure some of that out a little bit. Not there yet, but getting a little bit better.
Yeah. Greg, you mentioned the difficulty in coming off the Creighton game. These guys are also going to be in Maui at this time tomorrow night.
Right.
Is that a factor at all, do you think? I mean, is that a challenge to?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can see the guys that were the heavy minute guys Tuesday night were a little sluggish tonight, I thought, and that has an impact. There's no doubt. I mean, playing in that type of game, I don't know if we have this type of result if it's not for the bench, the guys that the contributions they gave, because that's hard to turn around and play in that type of game, and then here we are less than 48 hours later playing again, including travel. So even though the flight's pretty short, but they were out. We didn't get home until 1:30, so they're in bed by 3. So it's a short night on Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. They're back in class and short practice yesterday. But it was obvious. I figured it would be a factor, and that's why I tried to go to the bench early and get those guys involved.
Coach, Trice had 7 assists tonight, obviously. What is he seeing differently on the floor that other guys aren't, and is that something that you've seen all summer and fall as well?
Yeah, that's why we recruited him. I mean, he just has a feel for it. He does some things you can't coach. He does some things that he either picked up from his dad, his older brother when he was growing up, being in a sports-oriented family. His dad was a college player, his grandfather was a college player. He's just been around. He's just a natural. He was a really good high school quarterback. He knows how to lead. He says the right things. He asks the right questions. I thought he'd be a good player here to have the impact he's had this soon. It just, his numbers are very, 1 for 2, 1 for 1, but just the difference he makes when he goes on the floor. It was a 16-3 run, I think, when he came in. And I don't know, we haven't finished our analytics yet, what the plus-minus is with him in the lineup, but he just makes everybody around him better. He does what good point guards should do, make people around you better and lead the right way. And for a freshman that's been here 4 months, obviously he's got to get better at things, and he will. He understands that, but he makes his coach pretty happy.
Kind of sticking with Trice here, it seemed that you went to him at the 1 and Koenig at the 2 pretty often tonight. It seemed like against the full court press a few separate times. Just, I know you haven't seen the film, but your initial thoughts on that combo, that 1-2 punch?
Well, that's the combo we've gone to a little bit. We tried to, but tonight it was probably more intentional in terms of I wanted those two together, specifically with Meach at the point. Because I think it puts Bronson in other positions, it puts him in other scoring opportunities on the floor. It doesn't allow a defense to load to him as much as what it does with the ball in his hands at the top. And it gives him some other opportunities, whether it's running off screens or attacking the weak side of the floor. I thought we saw Bronson get a lot more aggressive attacking the basket when he was over at the 2. And Dimitri does a good job of finding guys too. He had a couple too that he kicked to Bronson that could have been 2 more assists, that shots that rimmed out. So we'll continue to work with it, but And I think Bronson's, he always told me he wanted an understudy. And so we got him, finally when he was a senior, we got him an understudy, guy he can mentor. So I know all of our guys like playing with him.
Coach, Ethan had 8 points and 7 rebounds, but you took him out a minute in the game. How do you think he played tonight?
I thought he got better, specifically in the second half. And then the early exit was the turnovers that we talked about. We've got to clean those things up and get better at that, because those are going to be costly, and they have been already. But I think he responded better in the second half. He understood what we needed to get better at, and he was more sound with his footwork. He was stronger, trying to play stronger around the rim. So you like to see that happen. Reevaluate, collect your thoughts, improve, and when we go back in, let's do it a little bit better.
Tom? Greg, you talked about turnovers already, but some of the other things you did at Creighton, too many trees, ball movement, touching the post, all the things you like to do. Did you see some progress in that tonight?
Better tonight. In fact, we turned down shots, I think, because they knew the ball needed to touch the red. And we were a little out of sorts at times, but I think there was definitely a conscious effort to try to throw the thing inside as much as possible. Like I said, I saw several guys turn down shots, which, if it's good, we'll take one, but we definitely want to touch the post more and get to the foul line a little bit more.
All right, so obviously with no guys from last year, you're losing any minutes. Now you have Trice in the mix, and now you have VanVleet in the mix. Where do you see all these minutes coming from for these guys?
Well, it'll be game by game based on who produces in previous games, who plays well in practice. That's still what gets rewarded. It's how you do day in and day out in practice. And then there'll be games where somebody's really playing well and they'll get a little more. And the better Trice played tonight, the more I wanted to give him. So I didn't have any number really set in mind. I just knew I wanted to get him in early and let him, get a sweat going and leave him in for a little while. And he obviously produced. So where the minutes go to, how they get dispersed, I think there's an obvious 10 that I've gone to, and I got Andy involved a little bit more. Because I just wanted to let him get some experience in there with all the older guys. So that's why I put him into that 12-minute mark or so. So we'll continue to work, and guys will get better. I think that's one thing. If you can give them a little experience, now they got something to draw back on. We get to practice on Saturday out in Maui. Are we better based on the experience that we got here tonight? And that's what we're looking for, trying to take a step forward every day.
Right.
Coach, we haven't seen zone here in a while. What do you think that can give you?
You saw it tonight. It wasn't a fallacy. Yeah, we've been tinkering with it through the summer and used a little bit this practice it some this fall, but we're not. I don't know where we're at with it. We need to practice it some more. I wanted to see it against another team. I wanted to get it on film, and we got a lot of things to continue to improve with it. But I think it's something, when it will be effective, how it can be effective. I think I saw that early, the first couple possessions, what the impact it had. But it's something we're working at, looking at. It'll be situational if we decide to use it, but we got to practice it more, and I wanted to play it in some of these games when we can play it, just to get better at teaching it. Also learn some different things. We've learned a lot with it in the past since June when we first started working on it a little bit.
Anything else, Coach? Okay. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.